Good afternoon, Good Shepherd. It is Wednesday, the 26th of March, 2025. Happy Wednesday. This coming week, we are moving into Lent 4, the fourth Sunday in Lent. And the service schedule will be the same as usual, 7:45 and Zoom, 7:45 in the chapel, Holy Eucharist and Zoom, and then 10:30 in the sanctuary live streamed. Between the two services, Faith Forum, where we will continue our discussion of the little book, Will You? Exploration of our baptismal promises as they relate especially to evangelism. It is a fascinating discussion, fascinating book. So I invite you to join us if you haven't, or to check out the videos that go out. The links go out early in the week. So anyway, it's been really, really interesting and good discussion. So commend that to you. And then we're continuing, we will do that tonight, continuing our discussion of Make Me an Instrument of Peace. Again, good discussions around the tables. Table makeup is different each week, and so you never know who you're going to be talking to. But the conversation has been really rich around civil discourse. What are the foundations of civil discourse? Why should we be having it? It's really, really good. So you're welcome to come tonight. We start at 6 o'clock. There will be some dinner and then conversation. Try and be out by 8. So if you can make it, please do. Easter is coming. Yeah, just a few weeks away now. And several folks are kind of, I'm not ready. But we'll get there and it'll be fine. With regard to that, there are some things that you'll see in the e-news and in the bulletin, but I want to highlight now. One is that we've put up the schedule, or we're putting up the schedule for the Maundy Thursday vigil at the altar of repose. So that will show up. The link for that will be in your email e-news tomorrow. And if you aren't familiar with that, that's where you sign up for an hour to pray in front of the reserved sacrament, to stand watch or to spend the night in watch with Christ. And that happens in the chapel. And we love it to have 2 people each time. And we've made it available in the past so that you can do this from home via Zoom. Not quite the same, but sometimes weather is problematic. But the sign up will be there, and that will be the 18th of April. No, 17th of April is Maundy Thursday. And the 20th is Easter. So sign up for that. Children's choir will begin this Sunday for Easter. After the main service, kids will hang around and rehearse for 20 minutes or so. To be ready to help us with our celebration of Easter on, again, April 20th. We are also looking for folks to sign up for Easter flowers. The sign-up sheet and collection box are out in the narthex, so if you want to take a look at that and sign up for Easter flowers, that would be great. And we're looking for Easter eggs, instructions for what needs to be inside them and what does not need to be inside them will be in the e-news, as it has been. Trying to get those collected by the 13th, that being Palm Sunday, so that we can make sure that we've got all of the stuff that we need and we can get them set out on Easter Sunday morning. So that's what's coming up. Between now and then, a reminder for those of you who have kids who might be interested in communion, that Reverend Mary Need, will be offering a reprise of her first communion class on Sunday the 6th. So not this coming Sunday, but a week from Sunday, for kids who are, and parents who are interested in First Communion. Actually, this is aimed at kids. That will happen during the Sunday school hour on April 6th. As I mentioned in the sermon, and I think many of you know, we had our Vestry Retreat over the weekend with our newly elected vestry. It was a great gathering. We had an evening of dinner and conversation Friday night, and then we met at St. Gregory's across the Platte in Littleton for a half-day retreat on Saturday. We discussed all sorts of things, from what do the bylaws look like to what are we going to do in terms of stewardship programming. And we spent the afternoon talking about how are we going to grow Good Shepherd, increase attendance and things like that. And we used a particular model that comes out of appreciative inquiry. Some of you know that I'm a appreciative inquiry devotee, and it's called SOAR, SOAR, where we spent some time talking about what are the strengths that we have, as a congregation have. What are the opportunities that we have? Sometimes those grow out of strengths, sometimes those grow out of things that the culture has given us. So what are the opportunities that we have? What do we aspire to be? What does Good Shepherd aspire to be? And then what are the results we would like to see? And so we spent a lot of time talking about that. And then at our vestry meeting last night, we further refined some of those things. And if you want to know more about that, you can talk to any vestry member, talk to me, we can tell you more. Probably have some handouts that we can give you. But it was a good time and well worth the amount of effort that everybody expended having those discussions. And a couple of things that came out of that I want to sort of offer to you as an opportunity to extend your ministries amongst us. One is we have a couple of folks in the congregation who are photographers, and we'll take photos at services and picnics and things like that. We can always use more because not everybody is here every week. And sometimes, they get called away or whatever. So if you're interested in helping us be photographers, you've got some skills or you want to learn some skills, I'm sure we've got some folks who would help you learn those. Please, please, please let me know. And related to that, we would like to start putting up more slides, either on the machine as you come in the door or on the slides in front of church before the service, sort of highlighting the stuff that we are doing, whether it's in service or when I say in service, in our services like baptisms and things like that, or community service, whether we're working at St. Clair's or Covenant Cupboard or things like that, so that we get a sense of who we are and what we are doing. To do that, we need some folks to help. We need people who can take those photos and pour them into a PowerPoint format, because that's how the folks in the AV booth would display them. So we need folks who have PowerPoint skills. And then we also need some folks who might have good ideas about how to curate the photos that are coming in, saying, well, we'll use this one, but not that one. And these are the ones that are really telling the story. So if you have some interest in doing that, either curating or just putting together the PowerPoint presentation, again, please talk to me. And then the third thing, and this is one of those achievable results that we decided that we wanted to see perhaps over the course of the next year or so, is 4 events that the parish would put on, but that would really help to include people from the neighborhood. And many of us can think back to some of the things that we've done in the past, whether it was Music with a Mission or Pumpkin Patch. Those were great events. Couldn't repeat them now for a number of reasons. But what kinds of events could we have that might draw in folks from the community? Some of them that we have done, it hasn't been intentional on our part, it's been part of somebody else's programs, is electronics recycling, or a shredding truck, or paint recycling, or things like that. That would bring the community in. It wouldn't be kind of a fun event, but we could turn it into a fun event. So we're putting together a group of people to think about that. And if you're interested in doing that, that would be fabulous. Again, just let me know. Last thing is we are now basically halfway through Lent. And many of you have heard me quote, as I did in the sermon last week, Frederick Buechner, who is now, he just died a few years ago, but a Presbyterian pastor, and written a lot of really wonderful meditations and things like that. And I want to read his meditation on Lent, and we will close with that. In many cultures, there is an ancient custom of giving 1/10 of each year's income to some holy use. For Christians, to observe the 40 days is to do the same thing with roughly 1/10 of each year's days. After being baptized by John in the River Jordan, Jesus went off alone into the wilderness where he spent 40 days, asking himself the question what it meant to be Jesus. During Lent, Christians are supposed to, in one way or another, ask what it means to be themselves. So, if you had to bet everything you have on whether there is a God or whether there isn't, which side would get your money and why? When you look at your face in the mirror, what do you see in it that you most like, and what do you see in it that you most deplore? If you had only one last message to leave to the handful of people who are most important to you, what would it be in 25 words or less? Of all of the things you have done in your life, which is the one you would most like to undo? Which is the one that makes you happiest to remember? Is there any person in the world or cause that, if circumstances called for it, you would be willing to die for? If this were the last day of your life, what would you do with it? To hear yourself try to answer questions like these is to begin to hear something not only of who you are, but of both what you are becoming and what you are failing to become. It can be a pretty depressing business, all in all, but if sackcloth and ashes are at the start of it, something like Easter may be at the end. Look forward to seeing you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.